So, most people see a new Star Wars trailer and have a measured response. Maybe it excites them, maybe it bores them, but it's certainly not something worth overanalyzing. Spaceships, lightsabers, things go bang, whatever. These are the lucky ones. They don't possess the brain of a Star Wars fanatic, a true obsessive. But I do. And here's what it's like. Obviously, I know the new movie is coming in 2015. I know its name, I know its cast. And for a while, I had a plan. Ignore it. Ignore it all. I'm over this. I have to be. I've been disappointed with new Star Wars before. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you know. And dear God, no trailers. Because trailers lead to intricate plot hypotheses, like, is John Boyega's character part of some new Imperial Rebel skirmish, like the one we see here? Was he shot out of a troop carrier like this one by the Millennium Falcon here? Does he eventually meet up with this new character played by Daisy Ridley? Is she a scavenger? Is that why that speeder is so big? To store space junk? Is that her astromech droid? Are those pod racer pieces? Are we on Tatooine? If we're on Tatooine, are those the pod racer pieces left over from the big pod race in Episode 1, where Anakin Skywalker secured his freedom, the same race where for some reason Anakin used this magnetic grappling tool to snag a loose cable instead of, using the Force.
Use the Force, Luke.
Because he's supposed to be off the charts with power, which would, be an elegant visual way to establish his character. You see how this goes? And it doesn't end. Ever. I am fully capable of weaving an entire plot based on these disparate images, building a movie in my brain that no production, either George Lucas or J.J. Abrams directed, can equal or satisfy. It's what I did in my years as a quiet, anxious kid, memorizing every frame and line of my VHS copies of the original trilogy, spilling myself into old Star Wars encyclopedias, begging for family vacation detours to New England junk shops to hunt for original figurines, making-of books, Super Nintendo games, movie novelizations, expanded universe stories, Disney rides. Building my own private universe is what I did incessantly during the 3-year intervals between the 3 prequels. I was in college, by the way. I plotted and filmed 3 movies in my head that were grander than the green screen pixelated space pantomimes I eventually saw. But that didn't stop me from spending half a decade suppressing any nagging thought that maybe, just maybe, these movies weren't very good. That maybe loose plot points were due to poor writing and planning, and not my inability to see the big picture, as if I was criticizing an individual brushstroke on a Monet. And finally, that I was right to question why, if Luke and Leia's mother, Natalie Portman, seen here, dies in childbirth, why is it that Leia, as an adult, is able to remember actual images and feelings about her dead mother, except no, she didn't, because she was an infant and her mother died on an operating table of a broken heart or something stupid like that. Anyway, I like to say that the Star Wars prequels taught me everything I needed to know about self-denial. But now, I'm an adult with a job. I'm married, and as the Star Wars cycle begins anew, I can't let myself jump back into that particular Sarlacc pit. And yet I do have a blissfully understanding wife, who bought me shelves for my Star Wars toys, prominently displaying them in our apartment, and a very cool younger brother, one who would rather commit lightsaber seppuku than sit through a Star Wars movie, who brushed off my fabricated newfangled Star Wars apathy with some serious Yoda advice. Whatever, man, what's the big deal? Being a little obsessive is cool. So, while the Force is not as strong as it used to be, it's still there, just maybe a bit more balanced. And as for that new lightsaber crossbar, I think it's awesome, though I question its practicality. And that pretty much sums up the point of this entire video.